Oh yeah, going to Epstein's Island, banging minors. I mean, this is like a perverted version of Hitler in our midst. And now look at his kids, and look at Biden's. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Elliot Omenson Show with Elliot Omenson
and Nathaniel Vossman.
Bringing all sorts of good stuff at you this week. You know, you just gotta. Do you ever wonder what life would be like without Democrat liberals?
Be very, very boring. So
very boring. Very like. I feel like when I lived in California, the most entertaining hour on television was the news. You know, some guy'd be in a minivan with a bunch of people holed up with a shotgun and the 410 freeway would be shut down. It was just always does like the most insane, crazy shit. And I feel like you just have the liberal left just constantly pumping stuff out. So in summary today, right? First up, we got the WNBA. Fresh off another 19.6 rebound, pay us like LeBron performance in front of 14 bored dads and 2 enthusiastic girlfriends. I'm guessing from the rate of lesbians in the WNBA, there's probably more girlfriends in the audience than that.
Probably.
But anyways, the ladies of the WNBA have once again issued a demand. Pay us what you owe us, which is interesting considering they owe us, the taxpayers, about 2 decades of subsidized mediocrity. Remember, if your leg needs NBA charity just to keep the Gatorade cold, you might want to hit pause on the play equality tantrum. Meanwhile, everybody's favorite late night talk show host, Stephen Colbert, everybody's late night favorite talk show host is actually Greg Gutfeld, according to the ratings. But anyway, Stephen Colbert has finally been canceled, not for being insufferably smug or for making jokes out of the comedic edge of a DMV pamphlet, but because apparently even the left got tired of being preached at by a man who looks like your dad's divorced friend who just discovered kombucha. In reality, I think it was the staggering sums of money that they paid him and paid to keep the show afloat, which we're going to talk about later. But maybe they'll replace him with a TikTok influencer who does 60-second ASMR while apologizing for whiteness. I think they get a lot of liberals to watch that. They love that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Now to the Olympics, where the International Olympic Committee has finally said, hey, hold your breath here. I know this is going to be stunning. Maybe women's sports should be for women. But wouldn't that require them to be able to define what a woman is first? And since we have a Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Jackson Brown, who can't even do so, I'm surprised they figured it out. Seems to be the most elusive question on the planet right now, right? But anyways, the new guidelines will bar transgender women from certain events unless they meet biological criteria. Somewhere a dead Greek philosopher just nodded and whispered, finally. Of course, Twitter exploded with hot takes like, this is fascism, because nothing screams fascism like asking for fairness and competitive javelin. Over in geopolitics, Japan's latest trade deal with the U.S. is being hailed as a step toward a more balanced economic partnership, which is diplomatic code for we're going to keep shipping you anime body pillows and microchips while buying exactly 0-year corn. But hey, at least it's not fentanyl. That's China's job. Now, while we're talking about Japan, something I learned from a comedian, and I really need to start remembering the names of these comedians because I like giving them shout-outs, but I can never remember their names. But he was talking about the changing of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And he's British. And he was like, really? He goes, any of you ever hear of a country called Germany? They don't call themselves Germany. What does Germany call themselves? You know, I knew this one. I always thought this was interesting.
What is it?
It's Deutschland. But because Britain refused to call them Deutschland, said your Germans were calling you Germany, everyone else on the planet calls them Germany. How about Japan? Does anyone from Japan refer to Japan as Japan?
That's a good question.
No, they don't. That's not the name of their country. It's Nippon. If you ask somebody who's Japanese where they're from, what they call it Nippon. And I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Nippon. Right?
Interesting.
And yet, because of Great Britain, the whole rest of the world calls it Japan. So I just one of the things I love about Trump is how he like takes something that you could never make me believe the left ever gave a shit about, and then somehow gets them to act like they've given a shit about it their whole life, right? It's just wild. Anyways, so moving on, we have a spicy little plot twist from the FBI archives. Obama allegedly orchestrated the Russiagate scandal, which anybody on the right has known this for a long time. Actually, I thought it was Hillary Clinton. I didn't realize it went all the way to Obama. But yes, the man who once weaponized hope and change might have also weaponized federal agencies to kneecap Trump like it was a Chicago primary. Somewhere Michelle is updating her resume to just say, didn't know ever. And the media, they're trying to memory hold the whole thing faster than Hunter Biden can lose a laptop. So that's pretty much your weekend whiplash where men are women, women want NBA salaries, comedy's dead, the Olympics rediscovered chromosomes, and Obama might be the villain of the Marvel Phase 47 reboot. Stay tuned, stay sarcastic, and stay employed, unlike Colbert.
Very nice. Good monologue. I like it.
I really like that one too.
Yeah. And I think it is a good, good gateway to exactly what we're talking about
drugs.
Today. Preferably. But we might be on drugs here, but they'll never know.
I definitely think Hunter Biden was in that interview.
Yeah, I do actually have a
Holy
couple of those clips on here too, because I think those are actually pretty wild, a couple more than others.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely get into that as well. So I guess it's up to you. What do you want to start with?
Oh, I think we should start with something light and fun. Do we have anything about Gaza and people dying over there?
Goodness.
I'm kidding. Let's go with somebody else being slaughtered. Let's start with Colbert.
Yeah. So the situation with Colbert is pretty interesting, and there's a lot of people on the left that are very, very upset about this. And it all comes after Paramount is, forking over $16 million to Donald Trump after his lawsuit.
I did like that joke Colbert made. Colbert said something about, they claim they're losing $40 million a year, and he's like, "Well, we know where $16 million went.
Yeah.
Where'd the other $24
Yeah.
million go?" Hat tip Colbert, your joke writer, did an excellent job on that one. One of the 100 people that is employed at a cost of $100 million a year to keep your show going. So I don't know if the joke was worth the $100 million.
Yeah. I definitely think there's plenty of Colbert stuff out there that has been cringe as expected. But I do think at the same time there's plenty of funny stuff too. But ultimately, it comes down to the economics of it all.
So here's what I find funny. I loved watching him when he made fun of people of my political persuasion on the whatever that other show was called. Where did he get his start? And he played the right wing person. Why can't I never remember the guy's name? And he's funny. And now he does his own show. Dude, sometimes I feel like
well, he's been on the Late Show for quite some time, for as long as I've
but before he did the Late Show, comedy, the Colbert Report.
Yeah, so that's from 2005.
Yeah, and he portrayed a satirical conservative character, right? And I thought he was also on what's his name show a lot, and I don't know why I'm blanking on him. The guy that fought for the firefighters to get taken care of after 9/11. He's one of the great... I
hadn't watched Stephen Colbert when I was in middle school.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're too young for probably a lot of this stuff.
I do remember back when he was on the Colbert Report, because I did watch Comedy Central back in the day. I used to watch that, what was it called? Tosh 2.0 Tosh? Something Tosh on Comedy Central.
Yeah, Tosh 2.0. Tosh is hilarious.
Yeah, that show was funny. So I used to watch that. So I never watched Colbert's show. I just remember seeing the advertisements for it. So
Jon Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I for some reason I thought he was like a character on Jon Stewart's show, but I guess the Colbert Report was its own thing. But it's funny to me because it's almost like this transition took place where when he was the satirical conservative character making fun of, my peeps, it was like I felt like it was more intelligent. It was less like Like, since he took over the Late Show, it's just like you're just an asshole who wants to hammer people with your holier than thou, I'm better than you kind of fucking attitude, right? Whereas when he had to play this satirical conservative character, I just thought it was more nuanced, it was more entertaining, it was funnier. There was more thought put into it.
Yeah, there's a line between like joking and then just like
just shitting on people,
just shitting on people versus actually like, not that he's hateful, but
oh, he's hateful. Yeah. No, he's definitely hateful.
Yeah.
And I think that what happened was when you strip away the satirical wrapper and you're not having to try to make it satire, it just allows you to just be a hateful ass.
Yeah, and then some of the guests you bring on are like straight up like big time anti-Trumpers, like politicians. Whereas like a show like Gutfeld, like we're talking about, like obviously Gutfeld is obviously conservative.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Every single person they bring on, whether it's comedian or another Fox News anchor, they're all conservative, but they're not really bringing on like, other than when they brought on Trump last election cycle, but they're not like
they're not bringing on Robert De Niro
on like Colbert. Well, yeah, but on Colbert show, he's bringing in like actual politicians, like much more frequently than what a Gutfeld would.
Yeah.
And so it's got more of a serious.
Like why do you want to be a stump for politicians?
Yeah, it's more of a serious tone.
Yeah. He reminds me of another comedian was talking about Nye, Jeff Nye, something like that. He has this whole bit where he's like, yeah, Jeff Nye. Is that a comedian?
I don't know. I might have spelled his name wrong. I don't know. I don't look
type
like
comedian in there. No, it's definitely not him. Anyways, he has this whole bit about how, like, today the adults are having fun. You know, he's like 40 years old, and his friend's like, hey, man, you want to eat some edibles and play Call of Duty? He's like, that's adulthood now. And he's like, the young kids, they're freaking out about global warming, the war in Gaza, free Palestine, trannies for Palestine, whatever. Like, they're all caught up in all these social things, right? And they're all miserable. They're all doped up on antidepressants. They're the fucking,
I think those just chronically online people too.
Well, yeah, and so it's just funny, and so I think that's the difference. It's like when you watch Greg Gutfeld, it's like people are having a good time. You go listen to Stephen Colbert, and it's like they're so wrapped into politics all of a sudden. What's funny, because Gutfeld is political, but it's like it's almost like the Colbert Show has turned into the late teen, early 20 college kid who's completely absorbed into all these global catastrophic events. One of my friends who's a leftist posted this thing about how on their Facebook, like, how am I supposed to function in this world when there's 5 major global things going on? Easy. Fucking turn it off and concern yourself with what concerns you.
Yeah. Yeah, like
you're not helping anybody in the Ukraine. You're not going to go help anybody in Gaza. You're not going to stop global warming. You're not going to end sweatshops in China. Like, stop fucking worrying about it.
Yeah, just like take it back to a time before all this technology and social media when people...
You wouldn't have known.
Exactly. Straight up wouldn't have known. And then even if you did know, it's like it's just so distant that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's like... And then she even posted something about not wanting to have kids. Well, maybe if you had kids, you'd have something to focus on other than a bunch of bullshit that will never matter to you in reality. Right? And that's why I love Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules of Life. And the very first rule is what? Make your own bed. And it's an analogy for deal with the shit that actually pertains to you. Like, don't worry about somebody else not making their bed. Go make your bed. Clean your room. Like, focus on yourself. Like, all this focus on all the, yeah. But anyways, I think that's the problem with Colbert's Show and bringing all these politicians on, is it just turned into a leftist hack platform.
Yeah, I think that's precisely it. And then where the drama really stems from recently is just like last week he called out the settlement that Paramount's making with Trump.
Yeah. That really pissed off the leftists.
16 million. He says that, and then the show gets announces that it's canceling the show later that week.
I hope somewhere there's a document that has that as part of the. It was $2 billion, wasn't it? Like $1 billion.
What
the initial lawsuit? Trump's lawsuit against Paramount was
somewhere in the
some
billions.
insane amount of money, and I hope that it's somewhere that it's like, well, I'll take $16 million if you shit can Colbert.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what they're arguing.
Please tell me that paperwork is somewhere in existence.
Trump was very happy. I know he went on Truth Social.
Yes.
Was talking about how
shit
happy
all
he was
over
that,
him.
Yeah, Colbert was canceled. And I actually have the video
please.
Of Colbert.
Yes.
This is like Colbert.
Dude, is this as good as Joy Reid when she cried? Oh no, Maddow. Maddow got on and
Joy
gave
Reid's
a
cried too. But
one of the best of these videos is Maddow fucking crying about Joy Reid getting shit canned. She is the best person in the world, like the best I've ever worked with or known, and I just can't believe. And I'm just like sitting here, like it was funny. It was funny.
Joy Reid's actually bad. Like I would take Colbert over Joy Reid any day.
Well, that's just because he's a white male and you're a misogynistic.
Will be our last season. The network will be
so
ending the Late Show
in July
May.
17th,
and
last Thursday.
Yeah, I share your feelings. It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of the Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away.
Yeah, hang on, back that up just a little bit. Because look, this is what I find funny, right? Somewhere in the captions, it said, this is not being based on the show's performance. Yeah, right there, hit pause. If the show performed correctly and had the correct content, it would be profitable.
Yeah, the performance one is weird. Content, I can see him saying that, but like performance,
it's purely related. What they're saying by saying that, what they're not saying, is that they're saying it's not because he's a liberal hack who has ruined late night. But if you hadn't, and you had performed correctly, well, you'd also have to, I don't know why we're going to get into the numbers later. I don't know how in the world it requires so many people and so much money. But these two things could be brought into equilibrium. You could bring the cost of his bullshit show down and make sure the ad revenue was worth having it on the air.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess what Paramount's trying to say there is that, it's not the performance content. It's just the trend of people kind of straying away from TV to social
they're all
media.
going to online and everybody's fractured, right? I heard this great take on it, which is that the point of late night shows was for America to come together as a whole around a cup of culture, common culture. And they'd have some music, they'd tell some jokes, they'd have the opening monologue, which would be funny. They would bring on some musicians and some actors or actresses or whatever. They'd let them give their little 5 to 8 minute blurb about whatever movie's coming out or whatever album's being released. And everybody in America gets to go to bed having laughed a little, heard some good music, and got caught up on some common culture that you can go to work the next day, stand around the water cooler and talk about. And I never thought about it like that. I never understood these shows. I grew up in a wacky household with no television. I was on the Channel 4 News in Kansas City when I was 9 for not having a TV. Sinbad, the comedian's brother, had to come over and bring us over to his house to watch Sinbad on Star Search when Sinbad first went on Star Search. And so I didn't. I was the nerd at school in every sense of the word. And a large part of it was I had no common culture. I had never, other kids are talking about Beastie Boys, and I'm like, is that Arabs and goats? I had no idea what they were talking about, right? And so when I heard that kind of take on what this late night shows were supposed to be, that made a lot of sense. And if you look at America today, it's extremely fractured. There's so many other things to do with your time.
Yeah, I don't think many people really tune in. I don't know.
I love how they claim they're number one, but number one out of what? How many people have to watch you to make you number one in the late night segment? And even being number one in the late, and they're not number one, Greg Gutfield is, but maybe they don't count him because he's on Fox.
I think he's now number one as of the last couple of years. And then also what's what plays into it is like you could be number one in the ratings, but obviously if your show costs so much to run,
Yeah.
that
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I apparently a Gutfeld's show, they don't have like specific numbers on it, but apparently it's like much more lean, and so they don't even need to have nearly as much revenue, even though obviously they have more revenue.
I mean, what do you need? 3 camera operators? I mean, we have no camera operators.
Yeah, yeah. So preferably you'd have more staff than what we have because we have 0.
Yeah.
But like if you just
But
gave
all
us,
they do is sit around and talk.
dude, if you gave us just a team of like 5 or 10 people, we'd have an awesome show.
Yeah, a team of 500 people and $1 million a year budget.
We'd have an
It'd be 1/100th.
Awesome show.
1/100th of Colbert's. Shit.
yeah, because like we have us, and it's like neither of our like full time jobs to be necessarily doing this, and we had no.
And all you really need is the people on the show and ChatGPT. That's it.
Shout out to ChatGPT. Do it, yeah, they could do all the writing for them, save them some money.
It's apparently a lot of money. Well,
So-
and then he's taken 20 to 25% of the show's whole budget.
Yeah,
That's what I loved about the Rachel Maddow and the Joy Reid thing. They sit here and they cry about all of the staff that's going to be laid off. And like true liberal Democrat, you're not willing to give up an ounce of what you're getting in order to support those people. He's not going there going, you know what, instead of paying me 20, 25 million, I'm going to go down to 1 million a year, right? Because don't they all want to tax everything over $1 million a year? So you don't need to wait for your political party to enforce the 100% tax on every dollar made over $1 million. Just sign a contract that shifts all but 1 million of your pay over to all the poor people, the 100 people that are going to be put out of work.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy because like the Rachel Maddow is even like more bizarre because she's making like 30 million. I'm pretty sure he's making 15, 20, and it's still a ton. And you think he has 200 staff. We'll get into the numbers later, but
200 staff?
like 1 to 200, and it's
What is
pretty
he,
crazy.
the Kamala Harris campaign?
Yeah. And the show costs roughly 100 million to run, and he's eating around 20% of that just in his salary. It's like, well, everything else, including all the other salaries, all the other maintenance, all the other video equipment and everything, costs just 4 times more than what he's making.
Yeah.
That's 200 up to 200 people working plus all.
That's insane.
All the other overhead.
Yeah. Now you know what I love? There are people who put their money where their mouth is. And I love these stories when they come out. Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was filming Terminator 3, I think it's Terminator 3 that has the scene with the crane, and they didn't have the budget for it. And he's like, no, I love this scene. Take it out of my paycheck. So he gave up $5 million out of his guaranteed pay to make sure that scene in the movie got filmed. Keanu Reeves is another one. I'm pretty positive he gave all of his royalties off the Matrix films to all the actual set construction workers and everybody on the movie The Matrix. Like, I love it when you have people that actually live it and they stand in such contrast to the Maddows, the Colberts, the Joy Reids, the liberal fucking hacks that will never, ever, ever subject themselves to the own policies they push.
Yeah, because $15-20 million is a lot of money to be making.
Holy shit! To do what?
Yeah, just to do the show.
Spend an hour of your day yapping.
Yeah, because I mean, there's only so much work to be done for himself when you got like 100
I mean,
people
come
around
on.
you running the show.
I mean, really? Do you think that show takes any prep work?
Not really for him, because it's just reading like,
You read a teleprompter.
and then anything that's going to be not off a teleprompter,
You're just
you
riffing.
you got a whole staff that's giving you all the
Well,
information.
do you even need that?
Yeah.
Like, you just, I mean, how hard is it to have an entertaining conversation with a comedian or a rock star? Like, I got news for you. I could throw an autistic engineer from Google or X or Tesla and have them interview one of those people, and it might be actually more entertaining.
Yeah, very well could be.
Jeez.
Yeah, so definitely a little bit overpaid. I'm gonna keep playing this though.
Well, you know, he's because he's shit canned.
And so this goes on to say it's like comes
Yeah.
days after you
Yeah.
know going to pay 16 million, and so this next little bit shows like
Don't you think if it was really tied to it, they would have put some more space in between the two?
Oh, definitely. And so here's the actual clip of him. I think it's 3 days earlier where he's
As someone who has always been a proud employee of this
July
network,
14th.
I'm offended.
What is up with
and
that
I don't know
mustache?
if anything
question.
will ever repair my trust in this company. But just taking a stab at it, I'd say $16 million would help. Now, I believe this kind of complicated financial settlement with a sitting government official has a technical name in legal circles. It's big fat bribe. Because this all comes as Paramount's owners are trying to get the Trump administration to approve the sale of our network to a new owner, Skydance.
And next year he will be taking.
And yeah, so the rest is just old video, but basically it's just showing that, you know, he just called out, I think it was like last Monday or something, talking about how it was a big fat bribe, you know, Paramount paying 16 million to the Trump administration. And just for reference, I kind of wanted to pull up what the whole lawsuit was about.
This is fantastic.
This is 6
This is where they claim they didn't do what they clearly did.
Yeah, it's like they edited it to save time, but like
Sure you did.
you can just cut out all the
You
bad
edited
parts.
it to make the cackling alcoholic sound like she was coherent and had a
That
brain.
Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it's
That's still not a great answer.
Here's what's hilarious. Yes, what it's amazing is they got the coherency down, but you still couldn't get meaning from it. Like you can't edit that answer to get anything of substance meaningful to have been said there. They could get it edited down to where she did it just.
They just cut out the really bad part.
Yes.
And but you know they claim that they're just, you know, they claim that it was just you know, trim it down so they could air it.
Well, okay, hang on. Ready for this? Let me play devil's advocate. Let me be their attorney. If you're the jury, did our answer make her sound any smarter? No, it didn't. We just edited the stupidity into half the amount of stupid time. Say, you know, she still sounded equally stupid. We just let you figure out she was stupid in half the amount of time it took her in the actual answer to convince you she was stupid.
Yeah,
She's still making a great case she's stupid.
yeah, still not a good answer.
No, it's either both are horrible answers. One is quicker than the other. So I mean, maybe they got a point.
Yeah,
And maybe that's why instead of paying $1 billion, they paid 16 million.
yeah. And I think that 60 million more or less just covers some of the legal fees that.
But here's what I think is funny, right? And here's what I'd love to see, and we should have gone over this ahead of time to find it. Let's see their version of Trump saying there's fine people on both sides, right? Because I guarantee you they edited it out, and I'm not talking about the KKK and the Proud Boys and the racists. Those people need to be totally condemned. I guarantee
Yeah,
you
they do the exact opposite.
they did the exact opposite to Trump to perpetuate a lie that they did for her to try and make her seem less stupid.
Yeah, and then they use the same reasoning for both to make it, for brevity,
Yes.
make it shorter.
Yes, but for some reason, every time they do it to a Republican or a conservative, it makes them look bad, and every time they do it to a Democrat or a liberal, it makes them look better.
Yeah, it's like, where do you draw the line where it's like selective editing versus just trimming it down?
Yeah, and so should a interview by a major news organization with a political candidate in an election be forced by law to be released unedited?
I think so. It took a while for that to get released, the unedited version. And yeah, I say fuck it. I think like,
Because you can't allow these organizations to put their finger on the election, right?
yeah, I think anything that's like an actual like CBS or
Yeah.
some like a big network should just, you know, they can air whatever they want to air for the 30-minute segment. But I think this interview was 50-some minutes.
The whole thing. I
feel like that needs to drop online or something separately. You
At
don't
the
have to
same
air it.
time.
Yeah.
At the same time. Here's the 30 minutes that we edited, And for transparency, to show that we're not trying to skew anything, here's the entire full unedited put online.
Yeah, because to me, it's like I don't care about like what people do or what these stations do, as long as they're transparent about it.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't hold up on releasing the transcripts. You shouldn't hold up on releasing full tapes. And this goes for if Trump does an interview with Bret Baier on Fox News, go ahead and drop that too.
Yeah.
And I prefer seeing the full interview, just kind of the same way as like when I watch podcasts. Like part of why I like podcasts is that it's like raw and unedited. I think that's the whole appeal. I think that's why that's gaining so much popularity. It's not edited, and I think that's why so many people are on YouTube or Spotify now, as opposed to watching some on TV.
Yeah, it's authentic. It's real.
Yeah, and you get better conversation versus whatever the fuck answer that was.
Yeah, that was that.
And I still don't even understand what the fuck she was talking about.
She doesn't either, and neither did the guy interviewing her. There's not a soul alive that could tell you what she meant.
Yeah, he was just like, well, I guess we're gonna have to fucking move on because I got these other questions to ask.
Yeah,
it's like what the fuck?
It'd be fun.
What kind of follow up question would he even say? Like where do you even like?
No, what he should have done is been like, and slapped her across the face, and then been like, okay, are you ready to answer the question?
Yeah,
like what was that?
Yeah,
I'd like to take her. I'd like to take this transcript, put it in ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT what she meant.
What the fuck did you mean?
Can you determine? Don't tell it who it is. Don't say it's Kamala Harris. Just say, hey, please translate this sentence and tell me what it's referring to and meaning. I'd love to see if ChatGPT could figure it out.
Probably not.
I want to do that after this.
Yeah,
I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah,
I'm putting it into chat. I'm going to see if AI can understand Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So yeah, that's the reason for the 16.
And what I find funny too is, and so we're not is just recently Donald Trump in an interview talked about something in the left. I mean, seriously, I saw it posted. It's like, oh, see, Trump's brain is, that he's just as brain dead as
Biden or Kamala.
Yeah. And here
I see that shit all the time, though. All the time.
It's so funny.
From like big channels on YouTube, like that Midas Touch guy or whatever. It's a big channel on YouTube with millions of followers. I'll see like a short clip that he posts, and it's like Trump talking, and in a 30-second clip, he'll stutter one time.
Yeah.
And then like,
yeah,
oh
see?
my gosh. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? You can post like 30-second clips of Biden where he doesn't get one word out. And like it's just like if you don't have a good point to prove, just don't even try it in the first place. Like
right.
Like just like go ahead and just take advantage of what you have the advantage on. And the whole mental acuity thing, they got nowhere to speak at all.
None.
That's coming off of Biden and then the replacement Kamala.
Yeah, and Babylon B had a great one because they're all worried about Trump now has like some swelling or whatever. And it's like somehow the media is more concerned about the blood flow to Trump's ankles than they were about the blood flow to Biden's brain.
Yeah. And at least we found out about that immediately. And guess what? It has like no impact because he's just like going on as normal.
And he's 78 years old.
But it'd be different if like if that put him in a wheelchair or something, or he had to take time off, but he just didn't affect anything.
Yeah.
That's the funny part about it is that it's a whole bunch of nothing. Whereas, we get no reports off Biden, and it clearly affected everything he did.
Yep.
So what were you looking up right now?
I was trying to find that thing about whatever conversation, like whatever the interview was with Trump and what he said and how they're all like trying to tear his question apart as if, he gave a Biden-esque answer.
Yeah, I see that shit all the time, though.
But this was something specific that like was just But anyways, I can't find it. It doesn't matter. It's just funny. So,
and so, kind of going into the numbers of things. This is on Reuters here. kind of giving the specifics on it, talking about how the show had been losing $40 million per year. And so I think this also talks about just, So the big thing that's impacting it is this ad revenue. So ad revenue plummeted to $70.2 million last year from $121 million back in 2018. So it's dropping by over $50 million in 7 years.
Yeah.
Which is obviously huge. You would like to see ad revenue grow over time.
Yeah.
Or at least stay the same, not shrink. And so so that's like a 40% drop, it says here.
Yeah. You know, I think they're missing out on a great mashup between the Colbert Report and the WNBA. And the Kamala Harris campaign. You could combine these three things together and just really lose your ass.
Definitely. They all have something in common.
Get them funded by USAID. Maybe roll some NPR into there.
We freed up that money. Now we can throw it at Colbert.
I just love, Wow.
I'm trying to see where I guess this article might not talk about the staff. But somewhere in here it talks about the show costs about $100 million to run. It doesn't really matter a lot, but I think it's between 100, 200 like staff, costs $100 million to run. He's getting paid 15, 20 million of that, which is obviously a whole lot of money to be making when your program, which is effectively your business, is losing $40 million. Pretty wild. And so his show's getting canceled next May. And so I was like the end date on his contract. So effectively his contract's just not getting renewed.
Yep.
And so it's not like they're going out and canceling the show and it's canceled next week. It's like
they're just saying they're not going to renew it. It's losing money. They can't figure out how to turn it around. And so when his contract runs out, it's over.
Yeah, because there really is no way to turn around. Because as a whole, I think this is the ad revenue is just dropping down anyways.
Yeah,
and the ratings are relatively dropping down too. Because I think it said he peaked at 3.1 million viewers on average back in 2017, 2018 season, and then this past season that ended in May, 1.9. So that's a pretty big drop.
Yeah.
And then along with just more and more people, like the trend of watching stuff on TV late night versus just TikTok and YouTube.
Dude, I don't ever.
I don't even have cable. Like I'll watch Gutfeld, but it'll be on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm sure they still get.
If I watch anything before I go to bed, I'm like watching a show on Netflix or Prime, not live TV.
Definitely.
I'm rewatching Stranger Things because season 5 gets dropped here in a couple months, right? Or I'm on my phone, doing news articles or, YouTube shorts or something like
anything other than live TV.
Yeah, I mean seriously, yeah.
Like the only time I don't even have cable, so like I might like use like a streaming website to stream like a sports game or something. Yeah. But other than that, there's no need.
I think the only thing to have fewer people going to it than church is live television.
Yeah, live television is definitely tough. And none of my friends have live television, like cable or anything. Like I don't know anybody other than like my mom.
Not a single one of my children watches live TV.
Yeah,
I don't even think they know live TV exists.
Yeah, like other than sports, which you can stream now.
Yeah,
it's like the idea of just having like live.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain my kids don't even know what live television is.
Because you still have live stuff, but you don't watch it on TV. You watch it on YouTube, like primarily, I would say.
Yeah.
And then other platforms like TikTok has live feeds, and all the other social media platforms. They got live feeds, so that's where people go for live entertainment. So certainly not watching Colbert.
Nope.
So that's the real reason why he's getting canceled. Of course, people are pretty upset. I think Bernie Sanders came out and talked bad about Elizabeth Warren. A bunch of people saying the same bullshit, just all calling it political, essentially.
Yeah, of course. What's Portnoy say? I love Dave.
So Portnoy just basically says exactly what we're saying right now. So I'll skip to about a couple minutes in here.
This isn't really right that we're blindsided. Buddy, you're losing $40 million a year. You have 200 people creating one show. We have 200 people at Barstool, content creators, creating like 30 shows. And some of them, the bigger ones, draw a bigger audience than Colbert. So like, what are we talking about? And then you compound that with Colbert openly going on air, being like, I don't trust CBS. This relationship can never be repaired. I can't believe they bowed or paid that lawsuit to Trump. If one of my employees, who I was paying $16 million a year while losing $40 million a year, went on their show and was like,
That's
I don't
some
like
WNBA
Dave.
math
I
right
don't
there.
trust Dave. You know what I would do? Like, welcome to the real fucking world. Yeah, Trump's happy, and this isn't about his politics. I don't love Colbert. I don't think he's funny. I thought he was funny when he was on Comedy Central. I haven't liked him on his Daily Show. But, buddy, you're losing $40 million a year, and then you have the arrogance to go hammer your own company.
Yeah, hit pause for a second right there, right? So this is something that I find really interesting, and I wish I was like more educated on like psychology and shit to be able to define it, you know, or to be able to kind of explain it better. But there is this martyrdom mentality on the left where it's almost like, you know, like, and it's around this, like, I'm speaking truth to power, right? And he knows, like, you know, and they use that phrase, I'm speaking truth to power. And they say it in a way as if it's supposed to somehow establish their moral superiority, right? Like, yeah, I'm rich. I get paid $16 million a year. I live a life you could never imagine. I advocate for higher taxes for everybody else, but I never donate my own money. I never voluntarily contribute more. But the one moral thing I do to show that I'm part of these masses that I spew bullshit to, I speak truth to power. And shitting on their employer, shitting on the big corporate, because they're all anti-big corporation, even though they all work for them, right? Yeah. From the opening monologue of the Barbie movie, where we already talked about it, the body positivity, the BBM Barbie, whatever it is, BBW Barbie.
BBW Barbie.
Yeah, sits there and spews this 5-minute diatribe against capitalism. And written by writers, spoken by actors, sponsored by Mattel, a toy company slopping shit to your kids, published and produced by Hollywood, viewed in a theater.
Yeah, viewed in a theater, and then funded by people who are paying to go see it.
Like the entire fucking thing's capitalism that you're bitching about, right? Yeah. And Stephen Colbert is, you know, owned by Paramount, a multi-billion-dollar organization, paid millions of dollars to run his mouth. And it's like, and then, but somehow saying, I speak truth to power and shitting on Paramount, the evil billion-dollar company, somehow absolves him of the fact he's a heterosexual, well, maybe not, white male. I don't know what his sexual orientation is, but he is a white male multi-millionaire being paid to be a monkey. He's a fucking dancing monkey making $16 million a year or more. And it's like he has to like have this one little token, I speak truth to power, to absolve him of all of his privilege and all of his excess that he's never going to fucking give away.
And clearly, he's got all the staff around him.
He's not gonna donate the bulk of his salary to his staff to keep the show on the air one more time any more than Rachel Maddow or Joy Reid ever will. And so I think there's some weird psychological thing there that they have to you know shit on.
Excuse me. Bless you. Bless you.
And somehow, and I think, do you think it works with their viewers? Do you think it works with all these liberal leftist hacks that hate capitalism and hate America and hate the systems that it's created and hate the patriarchy and hate white males? Because then they all tune in to watch a white male multimillionaire, part of the patriarchy, working for a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Yeah. I do think
Tell them what to think every fucking night.
a strong base definitely like love the fact that he's calling out Paramount. But I mean, I guess Dave Portnoy put in a good perspective that like it is kind of a bold take, especially given the financial struggles that this show's already gone through. You're losing it'd be different if he was profiting.
Is it bad form for me to eat a meat steak while we talk?
Dude, those are good. But it'd be different if he's $40 million in profit. And then you can kind of fuck around with your employer a little bit. When the employer is effectively subsidizing you, I mean, that's exactly what they're doing. If the show itself is losing $40 million, then to call out the network and kind of say you can't trust your network because they're paying Trump $16 million, which ultimately is a small sum of money. I mean, that's less than half of what your show loses every single fucking year.
Yeah, no, for real. You know who gets to walk into a company and be ungovernable? The top salesman.
Yeah. People,
the top salesman. That guy
money.
gets to do whatever he wants to do, and nobody gets to control him. He doesn't have to show up to meetings. He doesn't turn in reports. He doesn't hold to the boundaries of the expense account. He does whatever he wants.
Yeah, because you want to fucking keep him.
You got to. You ain't that, Colbert. You're losing $40 million. You're the opposite of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you just got to know the time and place to be saying stuff. And so that's like a perspective that I didn't really think about too much until,
his name's Colbert. Why did he adopt a French twist? Colbert.
I don't know.
Because he wants to say, because he's a liberal hack that wants to sound better than you.
Is he French?
No, he ain't French. He just makes everybody say his name like he is. I'm starting a movement. I'm going to start a MoveOn.org petition.
It's called Colbert.
To call his name what it is. We're renaming the Gulf of America, the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. We're renaming Colbert. Get that French shit out of here, and we're calling him Colbert.
Colbert.
These are the things I fight for.
It was weird coming out of my mouth. Colbert.
Colbert. I mean, isn't that how it's spelled?
That's
Colbert.
how it's spelled, yeah.
Why?
If I didn't know otherwise.
Why do I got to pronounce it like I'm a freaking Frenchman?
Yeah, if I didn't know otherwise, I definitely would say Colbert.
Yeah, is he a frog? He ain't a frog.
What?
That's what you call French people, frogs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're too young to know all the great racial slurs of the past.
I know the current day ones, though.
Well, rap makes sure of that.
Yeah. So, I won't be saying those here. So anything else on this Colbert one? Any final thoughts?
I think now that we've straightened out the last name, there's nothing more to talk about.
Fair enough.
I've got a quote from Tom Homan that'll kick off the Hunter Biden segment.
I think I did hear about this quote on Fox News.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't really care what the former first drug addict thinks. I thank God every morning I wake up, we got President Trump in the Oval Office. So, on that note, let's turn to the former first drug addict.
We'll go ahead and play this first clip here. I just label it as Hunter Biden being racist. So this on a podcast called Channel 5 with, I think, Andrew Callaghan. So it sounds like a TV show, but it's a podcast.
You have to talk about and realize that people are really upset about illegal immigration. Fuck you. How do you think your hotel room gets cleaned? How do you think you got food on your fucking table? Who do you think washes your dishes? Who do you think does your fucking garden? Who do you think is here by the fucking sheer fucking just grit and will that they figured out a way to get here because they thought that they could give themselves and their family a better chance. And he's somehow convinced all of us that these people are the fucking criminals? For someone, am I going to...
And so, multiple things with that, though. I still don't understand the idea behind how, like these illegal immigrants have to be the ones washing the dishes or cleaning the clothes or doing this and that. Because, short term, if all illegals were to be deported tomorrow, short term, obviously, business would struggle because they wouldn't have people work those jobs. But, given enough time, people would just work those damn jobs. And so I've never understood that argument necessarily.
It's the goofiest argument there is.
And then it goes on to talk about how it's like, oh, these people managed to come here and because they think they give their family a better life. And it's like the whole idea is like one of the things that you cannot claim asylum for is the economic side of things. Like you that's not a valid claim for asylum. And so, like, if you want to have this asylum process where all these people can, like, actually claim asylum, become citizens, it's like, well, they can't do it for that reason that he's talking about here.
Because the whole planet would.
Yeah, well, exactly. And so it's just goofy, and I still think it's like.
Well, first off, I got a question for you. Why does it? I mean, this guy's in his 50s, right?
Yeah, he's pretty old at this point because Joe Biden's so damn old.
And he's not the actor from the Caribbean pirate movies whose girlfriend shit in his bed, right?
Johnny Depp.
He's not Johnny Depp, right? So what other plausible reason could you have for having so many fucking bracelets on?
That is a lot of bracelets.
Like, you're a grown-ass man.
That's quite a few.
And you ain't Johnny Depp. And I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with all the bracelets.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it like one for every week he's been drug-free?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Both wrists.
Yeah.
And,
Anyways, I would like
He's very passionate about
Hunter, if you're listening to our show, hit me a DM. Let me know what's up with all the bracelets.
And this next clip is, in my opinion, much, much more wild.
Now, I want to go back to something you said though.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question. Who picks France and Italy's grapes to make wine?
I'm guessing not a bunch of illegal migrants.
Who picks California's grapes to make wine? Supposedly in California, and if you were to ask Hunter, as he's talking about all these things that the average American definitely doesn't employ anybody to do. You know, that's one of my favorite things when you listen to a liberal. Who's going to clean your home? Who's going to, work your garden? Didn't he say some shit like that?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Who's going to do your laundry? Bitch, like for most of us, we're doing all that.
Yeah, but even like at hotels and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
but let's just go to the agricultural aspect of it. How many illegal Mexicans are doing all the agriculture in Italy?
definitely not any illegal Mexicans, that's for damn sure.
Right? So how's it done?
Not with them.
No. So what's really interesting is that because when you have artificially suppressed wages, right? Besides everything that you talked about, how if you eliminated that, the wages come up because they have to hire actual real people. Yes, it causes the cost of goods to go up, but there's massive benefits to society by eliminating an underground black market workforce that doesn't have access to healthcare and all the rest of the shit. So we should all be fine if this was true, if this whole thing played out. We should all be fine paying more for a bottle of wine to have a non-black market, underground, underpaid, underserved workforce picking the grapes, right?
Yeah.
Now, what if I told you that's not actually how it works out? What actually happens? And the wine example is a perfect example because there's no illegal Mexicans in Italy picking the grapes. So you know what actually happens? How do you order your food at McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell now? What does Taco Bell ask every time I pull up? Are you ordering through the app? So what actually happens?
It's automating.
Technology. And so for decades, there's a very different process for picking grapes in Italy that doesn't rely on human, manual, cheap black market labor to do it. And we don't adopt those practices over here because we could just keep basically modern day slavery going. That liberals seem to really, really love and want to keep around. And so illegal immigration is very, very harmful on multiple fronts. One of which is it stops progress. It stops the implementation of much more efficient and effective technologies that allow us to accomplish these things because we just get to keep working off the backs of people who are not paid and not served correctly. So, I just want to throw it out there. This guy's an ass.
No. Oh no, definitely. And this clip is even like much more wild. This is mind-boggling, and so we just better hope that Hunter Biden never becomes president. So
Oh yeah, I love what he says if he becomes president. He's so
Somehow
angry about it.
convinced all of us that these people are the fucking criminals. White men in America are 45 more times likely to commit a
And right there, that's a big-time false claim. But
fucking violent crime than an immigrant. And the media says, well, you got David Axelrod and, Rahm fucking Emanuel. Was so fucking smart, Rahm Emanuel. He said, we got to understand that these people are really mad. And we got to appeal to these white voters. Rahm, the only people that fucking appealed to those fucking white voters was Joe Biden, 81 years old. And he got 81 million votes. And he did because, not because he appeased their fucking Trumpian sense, but because he challenged it. And he said, you can be an 81-year-old Catholic from fucking Scranton that doesn't understand it, but still has empathy for transgender people and immigrants. Then nobody said, oh, Joe Biden's going to turn us into a socialist state, no matter how much they said it. But these guys think that we need to run away from all values in order for us to lead. I say, fuck you. How are we getting those people back from fucking El Salvador? Because I'll tell you what, if I became president in 2 years from now, or 4 years from now, or 3 years from now, I would pick up the phone and call the fucking president of El Salvador and say, you either fucking send them back or I'm going to fucking invade. It's a fucking crime what they're doing. He's a fucking dictator thug.
Bukele or Trump?
Both.
imagine threatening to invade other countries to bring back illegal immigrants.
It's pretty nutty.
It's extreme. Like, that's one of the most radical stances I've ever seen.
But I'm going to give you an even nuttier take. This is how nutty you got to be to make a case to be your party's nominee for president. What does that say about the Democrat Party? When you're, in order to set yourself apart and establish yourself as leader, because they have no leader right now. And I don't know if you saw the interview with Beto O'Rourke. He's trying to come back. There's a lot of them are all trying to come back. They're all trying to become the leader of their party to get the nomination. This is how absolutely insane you got to be to trying to, like what he's speaking. He's not speaking to America right there. He's speaking to the Democrat base to show them how important they are to him, right? That, and which is really funny because Stephen A. Smith talks about this same thing. His point is, as a party, you said illegals and trannies are more important than the entire rest of America. And what did that get you? That lost you everything. It lost you the Supreme Court, the Congress, the Senate, and the White House. It also lost you your media dominance.
Yeah.
And here he is making the claim that they need to double down on that they need to make that of such supreme importance that they would go to war to get more illegal immigrants here.
Yeah, it's a crazy take. I've never heard anything like it. But in reality, in a general election, someone like Stephen A. Smith would have much better odds.
Well, I don't know how, because Joe Biden says Hunter is the smartest person he's ever known. So you literally have the smartest Democrat in the history of Democrats saying, according to Joe Biden, saying that he'd invade El Salvador. Like, you're not gonna invade. We have hostages. There's American hostages. He's not on a show saying he's gonna invade those countries to bring those hostages home. He's on a show saying he's going to invade El Salvador to bring illegal aliens back. Can it get crazier?
No. Maybe he was the most intelligent man before all the booze and coke and all the above. Maybe that just fucked with his brain. Now he's no longer. But
I think he's the poster. The RNC needs to take this, obviously bleep all the F words out, and just play this as an ad. This is your heir apparent to the Democrat throne making a case as to why the Democrats should make him the president. And
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good contrast compared to Don Jr., Eric Trump.
oh my goodness,
The way they handle themselves. And also, like, I mean, leftists probably hate some of the stuff that they believe in, but they're like, this is like extremely radical. The idea of threatening to invade another country.
Yeah,
And he's
it's-
being serious too. Like, not like he's like,
No,
it's not like a hyperbole
no,
situation.
he's very serious, right? But let me ask you here's another interesting question. On one hand, you have Donald Trump, a guy who was fleecing old ladies for rent, super racist, cheating on all of his wives, banging porn stars, paying them off, raping women in clothing rooms at, I don't know, whatever store that was that lady claimed, right? Just this hedonistic, running roughshod over everyone around him, filing bankruptcy 62 times, constantly ripping people off, constantly sexually molesting women, right? Just the Hitler, he's Hitler, right? Isn't he Hitler?
Apparently having sex with minors too. On the,
Oh yeah, going to Epstein's Island, banging minors. I mean, this is like a perverted version of Hitler in our midst. And now look at his kids, and look at Biden's.
And you get Mr. Joe Biden, who's a public servant for over 5 decades.
Dedicated 50 years
Gave
of
his whole
service. Gave his whole life
Just
to public service.
Just a humble guy from Scranton.
Humble guy from Scranton. He was raised by Jews, Haitians, blacks, Hispanics. He drove a train. He drove a truck. He drove a bus. He ran a boat. I mean, that guy, apparently, if you listen to him, he's done everything, everywhere.
He
And
did
was raised
everything
by
except
everyone.
for father his child.
Somehow, Trump's kids are fairly well put together.
Yeah, very well.
They're productive members of society. They take care of their children. I will give it, one of them, Dawn, right? Is it Dawn that got divorced and remarried Kimberly Guilfoyle or some shit from Fox News? I thought that was a bad look, but whatever. It's not like he's banging his dead brother's stripper girlfriend or whatever crazy shit this guy's doing.
Yeah. Hunter Biden's actually done bad stuff.
I mean, really, really, really bad shit with women connected to his dead brother.
Yeah, like literally his brother's woman. And
Yeah.
Just fucking her.
Yeah. So somehow the epitome of public service, decency, the party of joy, produces this pile of human excrement as a child. And yet Hitler, the perverted Hitler, somehow produces all these beautiful, amazing children that not a single one of them is a drug addict. Not a single one of them has been in prison that I know of. They're married. They have children. They're running businesses.
And their children are doing well too.
Yeah. And so there's this saying, by the fruits of the tree you shall know them. I don't know where I heard that somewhere. Was it Gandhi, Buddha, Lucifer? Somebody, I seem to recall that saying somewhere. And it's just really interesting to me to see the fruits of these two households and to contrast that with the media's portrayal of these two households. Because I will tell you, if I had to pick which one I wanted to be like to ensure the outcome I wanted for my children, I need to start banging porn stars and paying them off or filing bankruptcy or some shit.
Yeah, we know what we got to do now.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be the honorable party of joy, decent public servant, dude.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, apparently that results in nothing but disaster.
Yeah, Hunter Biden has definitely had his fair share of drama.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy that he's even throwing around, and he'll never be president, but it's just crazy that he's even throwing around the idea of what he'd do if he was president, because he's so far from that position. He never would.
Oh, I'd love to see the Democrat Party make him the candidate.
Yeah, unfortunately, like Joe Biden's kind of fallen out of favor for such a big portion, and then
That's what I love.
Hunter Biden was already out of favor. So he's.
I don't know why. To me, he's like the perfect example of all their policies and thoughts.
Clearly, he's
He should be
fighting
the
for it
poster.
pretty hard.
He should be their poster boy. Yeah,
Crazy.
and he's an incredible artist.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why, because that would allow too many comparisons to Hitler, and they love to make those comparisons.
Yeah. The drawings.
Yeah,
Just like,
Babylon B just dropped this thing where liberal goes back in time and kills Hitler, and now they have no one to compare everybody they disagree with to.
they lost their favorite
Like,
argument.
shit.
Yeah. So
Let's do.
Pretty crazy.
I have a meeting at 1 in 10 minutes, so let's knock out. We got to cover the WNBA.
yeah, let's go ahead and pull it up. It's a pretty short clip here. This is over the weekend. And to be honest, I don't even know which team this is. It doesn't really matter.
No, I heard they wouldn't play defense, and so the scores actually got really high. That's part of their protest.
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody would be able to tell the difference from when they were playing defense or not.
Probably still a lot of missed shots, so. But I'm sure Angel Reese still got her fair share of the me bounds.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is them walking up during warm-ups, and you'll see that they're all wearing the same shirt. So just pay us what you owe us.
Yes.
So this has something that's, kind of in common with Colbert.
Yeah.
I think you got some data to back that up.
Yeah, I do. I got a lot, actually. And to be honest, full disclosure, it's nowhere near as bad as I thought. It really isn't. And I could not believe that they're trending towards profitability. Okay. So, let me get back to the top here. All right. So right now they're losing 40 to 50 million a year. My sources only show 10 to 15 million of their budget coming from the NBA, and I thought for sure it would be more than that. Now, they've never been profitable, but they did start in 2026. There's a new broadcast rights deal, which is going to bring in approximately 200 million, which is up from the 60 million they're getting now. All right. 2024 saw 48% growth in attendance and a milestone high viewership, driven largely by Caitlin Clark, whose impact, according to ChatGPT, is estimated to be at 36 million a year in league revenue. They're also picking up, I think, a bunch of expansions, maybe 18, and they're getting 50 million to 250 million per franchise. And their franchise valuations are up 180% year over year, thanks to the TV deal and the viewership increase. Now, currently, the players are getting 9 to 10% of revenue, whereas the NBA gets 50% of revenue. All right. But of course, the NBA has an 11-year, $77 billion rights deal versus the WNBA's $2.2 billion.
Yeah, that's massive. Wow.
Yeah. So in 2024, the revenue reached 180 to 200 million. But that's up from 102 in 2019. They still posted a loss of 40 to 50 million. But with the expansion fees that are pouring in, because there's planned growth to it's not 18 new teams. They have planned growth to move to 18 teams by 2030. Now, there's something really interesting because Angel, whatever her name is, Reese, complained about the number of games they're having to play in. They're playing in half the games of the NBA. And as a liberal hack on my Facebook pointed out, well, it's because they don't have as many teams. Well, no shit, they don't. But if they grow to the point that what that has to do with you complaining about the number of games you're playing in is besides the point. You don't want to play in more games. How are you going to expand and get them to the NBA level to play the number of teams the NBA is playing in when they don't even want to play the number of games they're currently playing in?
Yeah, because that is roughly half of what the NBA does play.
Yeah, right. Now, let me finish these numbers. And I want to, if we have, we got 6 minutes. So basically, ChatGPT estimates that they could be profitable as early as 2026, 2027 with this TV rights deal, solidify that by 2028. All right. Now, there are also 3 teams that quite could be profitable. The Las Vegas Aces, recent reports suggest they're close to or at break even. They got back-to-back championships. The Seattle Storm, strong local support, they may be operating profitably or at least sustainably. And the New York Liberty, so there's 4, they may also be breaking even. And then Indiana Fever, obviously, with Caitlin Clark. ChatGPT is guessing this team could possibly have broken even this year. All right. But I think there's a bigger question that nobody's talking about, right? And it goes with all the complaints that I've heard Angel Reese and other players in the WNBA have made, right? They complain about having to play the number of games. They complain about the loud stadium. One of them said you used to be able to bring your computer and sit in the stand and work on stuff. Like, who in the right mind, from my point of view as a guy, that's the most insane statement I've ever heard about. Like, you thought that was good, that people are in your stands working? Like, aren't people there to watch and be entertained? But then something dawned on me, and I think this goes in it, and I think this is being missed. What if for women's sports to really be legit, it's a completely different thing, right? They're not as competitive. They're not as athletic, right? They don't have the same motivators. They're not motivated by competition the same way men are, right? And maybe even when you pack an entire court full of lesbians and they have those more masculine characteristics, they're still not men. So they're still not going to be as competitive. They're still not going to be as athletic. So maybe the whole idea, like, because we're constantly comparing a women's sport because of this whole concept of equality and being equal, and we're looking at the WNBA has to be played the same, right, to a certain extent, the same way. I mean, I know the rules are different for them, and is the basketball height different too?
I think it's the same. Which
Yeah.
why you don't see any dunks.
Yeah, so that should be lowered. And so what I'm saying is like, maybe because we're looking at it through the lens of equality, that's the wrong lens to look at it through. Maybe if you eliminate the idea of men's basketball and you just put women in to create a sport that they found to be fun, involving a basket, a court, and a ball, you'd end up with a different product, right? You might end up with a different fan experience. You might end up with a different stadium experience. You might end up with, right? And maybe we should allow them the space to create that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what women would enjoy watching.
Because it's like putting a softball team on an MLB stadium. They're never going to see a home run. And home
Never.
runs, like, it's not like home runs are necessary, but it's exciting, just like slam dunks and alley-oops are exciting in the NBA. You never get to see that in WNBA.
They can barely make a layup.
But I think most players are kind of against the idea of lowering the hoop, just because I guess it would go against what they're used to training.
Well, it goes
for.
against the lie that they can be just like men. And maybe we're on the verge of breaking that lie. And then we could actually let women create because it's the same thing, right? Soccer was men, and then we let women play on a soccer field. I don't know if the fields are the same. I'd highly doubt it. We need to research this a little bit more.
Probably,
But
I think so,
I'm just saying there's still this carryover. There's still this specter of what the men did and how the men did it. And then women are having to kind of like adapt within that, but they're not really free to adapt completely within it. And I'm just thinking maybe the conversation turned to that. Maybe you don't like playing as many games. Maybe there shouldn't be as many games, right? It's a female body. You don't recover as quickly. You can't sustain the same pace of play. So maybe it's okay that the quarters are shorter and the court's smaller and the hoop's lower. And, maybe you like a quieter fan experience, right? I'm not saying I want to go watch any of that shit, right? But if all the women supported women and watched their own shit, then I wouldn't have to waste my time going to do it.
True.
So, it's just a thought that I don't hear anybody talking about.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like with Caitlin Clark, they don't have to worry about it because now they're on
Yeah.
a path to profitability.
Yep. All right. I got to bounce.
Sweet.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys found some of this stuff entertaining. Click like, subscribe. Hit us in the comments with how stupid you think we are. What about the hacks? We love all your hate mail. So until next week, this is Elliot, Nathaniel, signing off. See you guys.